They just want you to sit in your chair and go, hip hip hooray, for the Western press and the Western narrative. Regurgitating the same old, every single day, without this. Please watch the first series, the first 2 episodes, the second series. Look at that.
Absolutely fascinating.
And it was the first time the Beatles had really stopped being semi-professional almost.
Hi everyone. I thought everyone, do you know what? I'm not being funny, but when I woke up this morning, and, you know, you put it, I was waiting for that Francine to take me to Aussie. And anyway, we're going tomorrow instead. Something came up. And then I got the news about Isak wanting to leave, wanting to go. And then they all came off bad, you know. I want your opinion on Isak. I want your opinion. Will Liverpool go for him? Rather than these podcasters and, you know, pundits. What's your take? Now, don't forget Liverpool. This is my take on it. Liverpool do want him. They want an out-and-out striker. And if he did come here, whether it's now in the summer or in the winter, January, I think Liverpool will be formidable. Especially when I'm saying he wants to move. He does definitely want to move. I'm not saying, you know, the old cliche, his head's being turned. I'm not saying that. But you've got to look at it now and just say, well, if Liverpool's come in for him, like everybody else. But I want your opinion on it. Before I go into your chat, I've got to thank these people. And it's Gap Painting Services. They sponsor the Frank Carlyle podcast, every single one of them. The lovely people, they're fully time served, fully insured. And I keep saying this, don't struggle. Don't struggle with all your decorating. Don't use ladders. Please don't use ladders. They're dangerous, especially if you're working at the NHS and you're coming home and you're tired and you've got to go the next morning for another long shift. Don't struggle. Just get them in. You get a special discount. And especially if you're an elderly person or an elderly couple, just get them in. It'll save you all the problems. It really will. They move everything where you want decorated. Then put it back. And you've got a brilliant house. Decorated. Painted and decorated. And even if you don't fit into that category, then honestly, they're well worth ringing up and getting an estimate because they are very, very reasonable. And that's Gap Painting Services, the sponsors of the Frank Carlyle show. And I just want to, about tomorrow, I've got a ufologist on. Someone corrected me. The UAPs now, Frank. Okay, then. But the UFOs to us. Unidentified aerial phenomenon. It's a big mouthful. Just say UFO, and everyone knows what you're on about. If you say UAPs, they go, "What's that abbreviation of?" But anyway, he's on tomorrow. The fellow who wrote this. Haunted Skies, the truth is most definitely out there. He's on with me tomorrow for the first hour, and then it'll be the current affairs. The usual. You can all have your rants about everybody. You know, you can have your rants about Starmer who wants to take away, you know, if you coming in to be a pensioner, you know, and you've worked all your bloody life, well, you're only getting a bit of it, and you don't qualify until 5 years later for the full amount. Have you ever heard anything like that in your life? I haven't, so you can rant all about that. But let's have a bit of football tonight. I'll go through your chat. Edward. Hello, Frank and chat. The Ekatike deal got done quick. Yeah, like McAllister done. Not McAllister, I'm sorry. Florian Wirtz. That was done. Even McAllister last season, the season before, was all done. Everything was done quickly. Bang. Now, this lad, Isak, you know. Let's see what you said. And as it carries on, Isak wants to leave. Be good if we get him as well. That's the signing. That's the signings we already have. Absolutely. Totally agree with you there. Not disagree. Isak coming now. They are going to be unstoppable, says Callum. Agree with you. I totally agree with you. And the Hulk, yeah, he died, didn't he? Because he was born. That's, you know, phenomenal. What's going on at the moment, unfortunately for us. You know, with Diogo and Joey Jones. Ozzy Osbourne. Even in Des, Canate plus 45 million for the Rodrigo. Canate plus 45 million for the Diaz to buy him for 70. What do you think about that, lads? I don't want Diaz to go, but Rodrigo is a very good player, but he's unproven. Diaz is proven. And to have him in this team that we've got now, Diaz I'm talking about. And as Callum said, we'll be unstoppable if Isak comes, and we will. I said that. I think I said it last night on the podlet. And Canate might now sign on. Do you know what? I agree, you know. I agree about that Canate re-signing. You know, his contract, not re-signing, was signing his contract. And the Red says, Callum, I ain't getting excited until Isak has agreed to join us. Anything can happen, as we know. But fingers crossed, yes. Callum says, Fabrizio Romano said at the Anfield edition, blah, blah, blah. Alexander Isak to Liverpool. It is absolutely on and concrete. When does he get it wrong? That's Romano. Yeah, there's been loads coming out and saying things like that. And he wants to come to Liverpool. You know, there's no doubt. Even the Newcastle supporters are saying it. He wants to go to Liverpool. And someone will say, geographically, Newcastle, you know, the city is in the wrong place. Oh, fuck off. You know what I mean? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to swear. I just don't like comments like that. I don't like comments like that. And if George Bernard Shaw says it's all right to swear, who am I to argue with it? New intro. Yeah, it's going to be a new one as well, where I'll be just having, football like tonight, rather than going on to other things as well. It'll just be all football. And then the same with the my history program, It'll just be about history, the intro. And I've got to do more. Honestly, I've got to do more conspiracy theories. So, the conspiracy theories, from like JFK and all this, going down. Because they are known as conspiracy theories. And don't forget, the conspiracy theory, at the end of it, is the truth. It was just an American, I don't know whether he was FBI or CIA, who coined the phrase conspiracy theory. Barry says, Karate is on his way to Madrid, and Guy, I can't can do his job easily. I was talking to our Francine, and she said, what the hell? I said, I don't know, I think it's Guy. I've heard people just say Guy. And she said, Sophia told me how to pronounce it. Sophie. I said, I want to get Sophia in a shirt, when the Adidas comes out. And she wants Flint Pong on. I said, Flint Pong. Oh. Yeah, I asked for that, actually. I asked for that. Because he's not going to be forgotten, as you know. He'll never be forgotten, Diogo Jota. You've got to understand about us Liverpool football fans. Anything like that. One of the lads put up a post yesterday, or last night, or today, I don't know where the bloody hell was. And it says, what's the best banner? What's the best banner ever put, like Liverpool have had? And they were all going on about, different ones, brilliant, so funny ones as well. And I just said, that lad, that young kid in the cup with the, a little sheet, it was only about that big, sheet. About that big it was. Little white sheet. And it just adds on in there, black lettering. Shankly lives forever. And that's right. That was the best banner I've ever seen. I'll tell you another banner. I always remember watching the World Cup, 66 World Cup. Just sitting there in the house, watching England and Germany, the final. And I felt, well, I don't think you're old enough, but, when the camera goes around the fans, the crowd, just see a banner there. And it was the first banner I ever saw. And it just said, next to England, next to Liverpool, England are the greatest. Next to Liverpool, England are the greatest. A banner at Wembley. Think about that. Even if Frank says the red bird, evening red bird, and he's a joiner. He's a joiner. If anyone knows a bloody joiner. I don't know where the Anfield Road's gone. What happened to him? He came home and has he gone back again? Anyway, Johan, good evening, Frank and legends in the chat. Isak hasn't joined the Newcastle tour of Asia. Strong feeling he might be headed your way, says Johan. Yeah, he hasn't gone, and with this thigh injury, no, that doesn't keep you away. That doesn't keep you away, so I think you're right there, Johan. Hey, Johan, if you're still with us, did you enjoy it last night? Did you enjoy the podcast last night about the history of literature? Johan, the mad devil, says the red bird. The king. Rest in peace, Hulk Hogan. He was only 71. There's me saying he was only 7, but he was. It's the bear. Hi, Frank. Hope you're well tonight. Thank you, bear. Thank you. I'm okay. All the better for you, lads. The bear. Hit the likes for Frank, guys. Thank you, bear. Appreciate that. Really do when people say that, you know, because I never say it, to be honest. I don't. I really don't. The Redbird says Liverpool are willing to go 150 for Alexander the Great. Not being funny, Redbird, please. You know, I'm not being funny, but that's a girl's name. It's ER at the end, Alexander, the male. It's like someone wrote to me once and put ES, Frances. That's the girls. I wonder what that is. Bless up, bear, says the red bear. Red bear, bro, says the bear. Daryl, Isak is going to be a red. And he's certain as our Daryl. And the bear says, Frank, Isak, Guy, Fofana, incoming, Liverpool finally means business. If we get, I'm just saying this, if we get these three, especially Isak, we're going to be unstoppable. Who's going to take us on? The bear. 17 in the chat, only 4 likes. Get them likes up, troops. Thank you. Thank you, bear. And Daryl says, Barry Canate staying, mate. The bear, bless up, bro. Callum, apparently we can spend up to 500 million and not get, yeah, because we've never spent anything. We spent 16 billion. The king, all right, Frank. Apparently John Henry is flying into Liverpool tonight to try and find a stolen wallet. My mate's got his FC Evans. I don't know what's he like. The horse battered and Geordie maggots are filling their kecks now. Barcode blazed. He just sees it as it is. Rally the Noose. Hello, Franco. Hi, Rally. Good to see you. Ali's a big red. Still in Romania. Still trying to get out of Romania. And Simon says, I worry I have is Newcastle will want to stretch it out and want more money, do you mean? Rodrigo isn't happening now, if not, if Isak is coming. But how many players do we need? 150 million plus, but sign of the times. One thing is, they can't afford another Vert saga. No. No. Edward says, if we sell Diaz and Chiesa, we'll have no cover for Gakpo and Salah. That's why Rodrigo and Fofana, they're mentioned all the time. And the bear says, 20 in the chat, only 4 like you lot have a lower conversation rate than Nunes. Get them likes up for Frank. A lower conversation rate. Oh. And do you know what? I think if you could make banners on there, I think there'd be some kind of banners. Rather lovely Toscana. Ciao Franco, ciao everybody. Interesting times at LFC. Isaac wants to win the league, and with due respect to Newcastle, he's not going to do it with them. Yeah, it looks like he's coming in. It really does. That's just my opinion. It was like Vert, when Vert played here, he couldn't get over the crowd. Couldn't get over it. Even Federico Chiesa, he said, didn't he, on Rai Uno, he said, I was looking at that crowd. He said, it was incredible. And he was, especially, he looked at the Barcelona game when we beat them 4-0. He said, the crowd was amazing. He said, I've never known anything like it. The fans. And I think he's the same, Isak, because when we played them at Wembley, the lads were brilliant in defeat. Diaz has made it clear he wants out, but you never know, says the Redbird. But I've been watching, I know it doesn't really give you much, Redbird, but I've been watching the training, and he seems happy with the lad laughing and joking. And I watched the training match before, and Salah tackled him. So he's asking for a foul. I think Salah will get up. I don't know if anyone watched it. Henry has flown out to iron the deal. Breaking news. Away. The Red Bear. Well said, Bear. Callum. To the Red Bear. Diaz one now must be family related. Can't think otherwise. That's a good shout, actually. Because he loves it here. His dad might, he might have bought a house over there in Barca for him. You never know, to get out of Colombia. Because anything like that, what happened to his dad being kidnapped, it's frightening. The violence. So he might be living in Spain somewhere. The dad, the family there is. Happy to hear your Torres, Frank. I need more. Happy to hear. The lovely Tosca. I don't know whether you've seen this, Toscana, but I'll just show you this. This fella's on tomorrow. He's on tomorrow for the first hour. He's good. John Hanson, his name is. He's good. Believe me. Ex-cop. Ex-cop. But Callum, I reckon it's his papa pushing for a move. Could be, actually. Could be. Yeah, I think so as well. I think so. Haven't they just bought Rashford though, Barca? Haven't they just acquired his services? I don't know. It's a matter of it's a matter of it's a, if you've got family ties, and as I said before, this is about Diaz, by the way, and I'm very strong family orientated people, and they want to see their family in a safe place where they speak the language. What better than Spain? That's the way I look at it. And Simon says, Frank, until Isak puts in a transfer request in, I'm sorry, it's just noise. For all we know, Isak is sabre rattling to get his 300 quid a week, 300 grand, and get a release clause to leave next summer. That's a hard one, that though, Simon. You do it during the season. Honestly, you don't do it. You do it when the window closes. Then you say, I want to go in the winter. If you don't give me my money now. That's just me. That's my thinking. Snapey. Evening 1 and all. Even stay. Simon, he has put in a transfer request, mate. That's why he wants to go. Hello, Snapey. Go. Callum, I've got a Jota share coming, but this season I'm going to get a virtual, I think, this season. It's lovely, that. I think I'm slow. The best is that I should need to tell them disrespectful, in my opinion. Frank entertains and interacts with us all the time. The least we can do is like the show. Oh, thank you. Thank you. If I sit there, you're looking at the comments are coming up, you see. I have to stop. And then I think every comment, you see comments now coming up, not on my, you never used to see them. And I think someone's taken an idea of what we've done, putting the comments up. But at least I talk to you. and reads out your comments. And I think they should be read out. I really do, because they're powerful. And Sammy says, I honestly don't know how Isak and Ekatike can play together and both are front men. I guess Ekatike is the backup for Isak, but still not worth 120 plus. But that's the market we work in. That's about me now. The pod, not me, but the pod. And Redbird said, I knew there'd be a birthday. Simon, we have Slot and his team. I have no doubt they will have worked out how to play Isak and Ekatike. I believe that. You know, you just don't buy anyone to try and fit in. I agree with that. Where do we play and what do you? And don't forget, I think this, why we're getting a bigger squad, but more quality. We've had big squads in the past. We had a big squad last year, but the quality wasn't there on the bench, unfortunately. But now we're getting the quality to be on the bench and for cover, because you can't play game after game after game. Look at Gravenberg. He plays every game, and he was knackered, and he fell off his form. No one can deny that, because there was no cover for him, really. I'm gonna have a slurp of my to take a big bang. I'm gonna have a slurp of this. It's still wet, that, you know, it's like the ice on the bottle. That's vaporized into water. And Simon says, Redbird, the official line is he wants to explore his options for a move away from Newcastle this summer. No transfer request has been made. Sorry to be the bearer. It's still the same. Simon, it's still the same. Look, he doesn't want to be at Newcastle. He's told them that. He wants to leave. Everybody said it. See, that's just another thing, you know. He hasn't said that. It's a reporter who said it. He wants to explore his options for a move away from Newcastle this summer. But it wasn't him. He's never said, I want to explore a move away from Newcastle this summer. He's never come out and said that. All he said is, I want to go. I want to go. I want to move. That's what he said. I want a move. What do Ekatike says backwards? The palindrome. It's the, I don't know, you know. It's just like Ekatike, I don't know, like Abel, isn't it, really? That is Timod's QT. Hi, Frank, hope all is good. Hi, QT, good to see you. It really is. Yeah, no, this is Breaking by Callum. Alexander Isak is open to a move to Liverpool and would welcome a bid. A fresh approach from Liverpool is anticipated. Jacobs Ben. At Jacobs Ben. He's there, put it on. The reporter, that is. Sports reporter. So they're going to go in for him. Just make the. I think it will be. They're going to ask for 150. We'll go in with another stupid bid, below the price, but we'll end up getting them anyway. And Darryl says to Simon, that's a transfer request. Sorry, mate. I love you all. I love all that, because you're all good people here. Honestly, every one of you. Absolutely loved it last night, Frank says Johan. Even started reading. Did you? Did you start? I'll be doing it next week, you see. Talking about what's behind it. I'll give you some insights as well into Oliver Twist. Big Liverpool connections. Massive, in fact. And why it can't be written today. Not about Liverpool, like certain other things. It cannot be written today. And why it won't be, why it can't be written, put it that way, today. Oliver Twist. And Sleepy says, to be a fly on the wall and to share a household. Yeah, he's trying to talk to self. Evening, Barry Aldridge, mate, says to Sneap. Scottish Bear. QT, lad. Good to see you back. Yes, good. As is. Big up, QT. Big up, brother. So, I've got all your things about Isak. Still there, come out with them as well. So what do you think about the next game against AC? Do you think our two goalies will play? One first half, one second half. What do you think of that Marmadashvili? He's a big lad, eh? It's a cracking save off someone. You know that friendly before. And Redbird says, Simon, Romano, other respectable journals and Sky Sports all say Isak has put in a transfer request. Even the Geordie fans saying it. He did say it, I was listening to someone. He was fuming though. It's like us when we were fuming at Coutinho. And Sam said, the reason Isak won't put a transfer request in is that he loses his bonus when a transfer happens. If he really wants a deal to LFC, just come out and say it and get the deal done. No more poker game. We know that, but without putting in a transfer, like I won't say transfer, but you can't say I want out of the club. You can't say I want to move without losing your percentage. And that's what's happening. So you might as well say, below the actual statement, he wants to leave for Liverpool. It's the only way, Simon. It's the only interpretation anyone can come up with, to be honest. The Reds have loads of money and will retain the league, says Stephen Snake, MBE, OBE. And Callum, I actually have John Henry's wallet, so on Halloween we'll have a party and play past the parcel with it. He looks like Dracula, doesn't he? He's only got to put, like, you know, that cape on with the pink around. John Henry. Doesn't need makeup on, does he? He's whiter than me. Callum says, Simon, he's put a request. He's put in a request. Darryl, I can't see him staying unless they pay him what he wants, and I don't see LFC doing that, says Barry. We can still afford Rodrigo and Isak, says Callum. Youssef doesn't swear, you know, normally. And he says, the Geordies are pissed off. Sob on the time. Because I've done as a banner, couldn't you? If he does come here and we're playing them. Sob on the side. Sob on the side. Alan Morris, great to see you on, Frank. Hope you're well, thank you. Tell me the best match you have seen and why. The best match. I've got to say this simply because I've seen fantastic games. But I've got to say this because I've said it all along about the raw and the titanitis, you know. And it was the sanity in game. It was an incredible game. An unbelievable game. I remember being dragged along by my uncle to see the Inter Milan game. When we beat them 3-1, should have been 4-1. Really. He said, come on, I'm going to show you. I'm sorry about this, boys. Girls. He said, I'm going to show you Sandro Mazzola. What a player. And he scored that night as well, Sandro Mazzola. And the Isak saga is bigger than Vert saga, to be honest. Hit the like button if you haven't done it yet, thanks. I can see it up here, you know. And like there's different likes and, you know, different things. And there's only 2 on here. If they like it, they don't. If they don't, well. Anyway, Ali the News says Diaz is our most skilled player. No doubt about that. This is why we don't want to sell him. For me, Chiesa is a very good player, but maybe it's better for him to go and play in another team. I think he's going to AC of all the teams. We're playing them tomorrow. Because Gattuso, he's the Italian manager now, the Azzurri manager. And he said players have to play for their team because it's the World Cup, don't forget. And I think Federico, albeit that he's been told that they'd like him to stay, but he's thinking, you know, about the World Cup. But also he's thinking, well, if I stay another season, what chance have I got of playing? They might be doing the same, keeping me out, not getting game time. And that'll ruin my chance of getting into the squadra, Italia squadra. So that's the way I think. And his wife has gone back to Italy as well. A beautiful girl has gone back to Italy. So I think that sums everything up. And Barry, you're right, Callum, we can spend up to 500 million. 500. The chat got no money, but they gonna smash the likes, says QT. The red bears, why you lot not hitting the like it? Won't hear your finger thumb. Finger stroke thumb. Come on, Reds, you know what you should be like. Like, please. Thank you, the red bear. Thank you. Lads, he hasn't put a transfer request in. He has alleged verbally told them he wishes to leave. Well, I think that's saying he wants to go. So, all right, then we've had enough of that. Let's try and pick 11 for tomorrow to start the game. Yes, Diaz does seem happy, Frank. Yes, Diaz does seem. He does actually, because simply I was watching them today. I've been watching them, the last few like training sessions and getting together, especially after the Diogo Jota tragedy. And they all seem to be gelling again and getting better. You know what I mean? And he likes it. He likes it there. He really does. I'm not just saying that. But I like Diaz. I really do. Callum said, it's 2 a.m. in Hong Kong. We are getting Isak with the boys asleep. 2 a.m. 2 a.m. Darryl, the breaking, what's the source, bro? Darryl, the breaking, what's the source, though? Darryl comes and goes. If you know what I mean, he comes on and then leaves. That's why I say to people, have you never heard me? Have you still here? Like Snapey. Snapey comes on, says hello to everyone, makes a comment or two, then he leaves. Bill it down. Tell Frank, just listening tonight. Get myself ready for our big night tomorrow. Ciao. Can I just show you something, Billy? Putting this fella on tomorrow. Putting him on tomorrow. You want to see what I'm putting up? I've asked Jason. And I said, but I want it in sequence. And it's what I filmed. Sounds ominous, doesn't it? So he's coming on tomorrow. The author of Haunted Skies. And as it says, the truth is most definitely out there. How about that? Tomorrow night. Then the usual rant about Starmer and Trump and the rest of the mates, that divvy. Frank, we will sell 250 million, 300 worth of talent and spend about 500 million. Good to see this quality coming, yes. Well, here's a question for you. Someone's bound to leave. You know that Federico, he'll be going, unfortunately. Who else do you think? Who else? Carragher's gone. Quansah's gone. Who do you think? And include the youngsters, by the way. Why am I talking about? Include the youngsters. Who do you think? I think Tyler Morton will go. Is he good enough? Is he at that level that we want? And Yusuf says, it's a good point, this actually, and he did. Newcastle tried to outsmart us and they shot themselves in the foot. Yeah. Callum says, Redbird, that came out this morning. John Henry flying out. Edward, be good, that's tomorrow, Frank, thank you. Should be. I'm sorry, if you see me doing that and doing this, it's because, honest, it's because of this itch. And it's terrible. Do you know when you've had an itchy nose and you can't wait to? That's what it's like constantly. The Redbirds are Simon, check Fabrizio out. He said Isak has put in a transfer request. The Newcastle fans are going mad. Makes no difference, you know, if he gets his bonus or what, because he'll still get a percentage somewhere along the line. Oh, to be a millionaire. We don't want to sell Nunes anymore. Or what's going on? That's mad, that, isn't it? You know, about Darwin. Because ends up staying. Rashmud is on loan, I think. Man United fans are not bothered about him, are they? And yeah, he was the greatest thing. Bobby Child or Georgie Best or Dennis Law or any of the other great Man U had. Great players then. And respectful, by the way. The Bear. Newcastle fans are going mad at Isak handing in a transfer request. This is leading one way, Isak at Anfield. Yeah. Oh, you wouldn't cocoa because once there's no way that he can play for Newcastle again. If it was Liverpool, let's just say, for example, who can I say? I can't even say anyone. You know, putting in a transfer request to Liverpool and saying, I want to go. Okay. You know, there's talk about McAllister going. And Mac is saying around and saying, I don't want to go, but I'm just being hypothetical here. What if he said, I want to go? I want to go to Real Madrid. How would the reception he'd get if we got them in the Champions League? What about the reception there? You're bound to get sections of fans at Anfield if you know about Trent. Trent is that was nasty, you know. He should have came out and said it a while back, not 2 weeks before. And you know, the slyness of the way he was learning Spanish for 2 years. Simon Isak has put in a transfer request, says the bear. Ali Danus. Hit the like button, guys. Thank you. Hit the like button. Thank you. Got an extra one there. I'm just saying, extra like. Barry says, needs to remember, chat, Diaz is 28, Rodrigo 24. Get more out of Rodrigo, don't you think? Yeah. See, Xabi Alonso's got, he's like isolating him. Rodrigo, that is. And he's wondering where he's going to play under. This is Rodrigo himself. He's wondering where he's going to play under Xabi. And the Red Bear, Simon is convinced Isak hasn't put in a transfer request. I think he's a Debbie Downer. Barry, I like Rodrigo, mate. I do myself, Bird. Isak has told Newcastle he wants to try Ventures now. That's a transfer request. And Barry says, don't think we can do no wrong with him in the team. Look, can we get away from there? Simon always brings the negative. Maybe that's just his nature. Poor lad. The second games week's gonna be feisty, says Yusa. Is that against Arsenal? Simon at Graham Bailey. Liverpool are preparing to bid over 124 Alexander Isak. I'm not interested in Romano until Craig Hope, a Northeast journalist, says it. Then I believe a transfer. But he broke it. That Craig Hope broke that he's from South. Simon. He actually broke the news. Then everybody jumped on it. Then, obviously, they got more information. I'm talking about the journals. They got more and more information. And, looks like he wouldn't have get some stick off the Newcastle fans. And Eddie Howe must know that. Eddie Howe must know it because they're fuming now. Just imagine him putting a shirt on. Them fans know he doesn't want to play for them. Think about it. That's why he'll go. They'll just say, okay, no, you've gone. Because now Newcastle are looking at another striker. I haven't a clue who, but they're looking for him. Or they're looking at him. So that's what you've got. You're in this catch-22 about Isak. Does he wear a Newcastle shirt and play for a few months till January, or give him the stick? They will give him stick. No, you're a traitor. Yeah? A traitor to the cause. Why do you want to go to them scousers? That's what it'll be like, honestly. Simon, you just want to be different. Callum says, everybody knows Romano is the best. I can't understand him, you know. He talks very fast. Have you seen the tan on him? Must be lying on his roof. Must be out on his roof in Italy, in the sun. It's like you get some sun. I might be able to go away. I've got to wait for these results. Fuck. Simon, it's all over the place, but you have a right to disagree. It's right. But to say he hasn't put in a cross is not true. Yes. Come on, there. I think Simon's going to leave us. Simon Paul Joyce is the most connected to Liverpool football. He put an article out on Isak. And Simon says, all right, guys, you have a good night. We agree to disagree. Sorry, it's negative to have you. No one's saying you're negative. It's like everything, Simon. People disagree with me. You know what I mean? And people do disagree. But the unfortunate thing is, I know what you're saying until, he comes out and says, I want a transfer. I want to put in a transfer request. That's what you're saying. And when, we all know that he said, I want to move, there's no difference. There's no difference. I've put in a transfer, honestly, I know it's a big difference, but I've put in a transfer and I'm waiting. I want to move from here, where I am. The Red Bird said, I think it was the Scottish Bear said to me last week, have you heard any news about the bung? I said, no. Yeah, I was only talking to a lady till she phoned me about 3 hours ago. And I was telling her about it. And she said, okay, leave it with me. About my request. My transfer request. And she said, you have no problem getting rid of yours. But I just need to be somewhere where I can just open the door, just sit down. That's all. Barry says, City, Chelsea, Madrid and Barca have always had top-class squads, whereas we have had fringe players from the academy on the bench. Now we will have a top-draw player. Brilliant, that's what I said. That's what I said. I said, I don't know when I know I said, I don't know what Potter said to them. Look at that, and if you remember, get up on YouTube, the highlights of Liverpool and Barcelona. Now, I was at the game, and when the substitutes were getting let out, I said, substitute. Red Bear. Was it Red Bear or something like that? And Brewster. And I even said at the time, they're not even at the level. They're going to be gone. I always remember them bringing a young kid called Uwe, Dutch lad. I said, he's not going to make it. Yet there was some fans saying, oh, he's going to make it. I said, he isn't. And look at that bench against Barcelona. Simon, you don't have to go because of us. Thank you, Yusuf. It's just opinions. About time we get a domination period, says Cal. We were having us on the slot, but unfortunately he wasn't getting the money. Not like today. About time, yeah. We don't think you're negative, Simon. Yusuf, he thinks we're negative. Unfortunately. He's a good lad, Simon. Comes out with all the quotes. All the quotes. Finds them. Talking about Georgi Zhukov. He came out with a great quote, what he said. Georgi Zhukov. The Redbird says, Simon, it's not negative to have a viewpoint, but to deny Isak transfer request when it's all over the place is odd. Yeah. Ali the Roof, Simon, if you are real, is the best thing. Doesn't matter if you are positive or negative. Yeah. It's your opinion, Simon. I agree with most of your opinions, but not that one. We don't run away with a difference of opinion on Frank's channel. Guys, you won't believe what just came out of what? What's come out? Don't like them little things, little comments like that. What's happened? And Ali the News says, Isak is good, but when I watch Newcastle games, he is always injured. There's a risky move, in my opinion, and a lot of money on the table. But he's only missed a few. You know, everybody looks at that. Then someone's at the stats, and he only missed a few. The rivals are saying we are trying to buy the Premiership. But isn't that what City have done for years? Oh, but they've selected to forget that. You've got selective memory, see. They are gutted that we are acting like the big team we are. Finally acting like the team we are. Or the club we are. Chelsea did it. Not only City, but Chelsea did it. If you remember, Mourinho was buying everyone for millions and giving them millions a week. Remember when the chairman at the time, I think it was a joint chairman, I always forget his name, Abramovich, you know, and he seen Steven Gerrard at the airport. They were flying off different places to different games, you know, different countries. And he shouted, oh, does everybody remember? It's not anybody, not everybody. And he said, Stevie, join us and get a great big wage, more wages than you'll ever dream of. Bigger wages than you'll ever dream of. Forget his name. And Stevie just looked like, yeah. Breaking. Trent Alexander-Arnold is already regretting leaving his boyhood club, Liverpool. That comes from a fellow named Lewis Steele. 66 is crying. It's Callum. The red bird. Callum, tell us, bro. And Yusuf. French, yeah, it has been said, hasn't it? Traitor Trent. My mate was on the stay Evo. He gave him a stay. Teachers and half give him stay. Don't have a go at me, most probably as well. But there's a reason why I'm going to say this. Remember Edwards and Ward? They went from Liverpool, they left Liverpool. Remember that? 6 months later, Ward to set up. I'm off. And they brought them back. So you've got to ask yourself why. Why did they leave in the first place? Who asked them to leave? Because they never just said, I think I'll leave now, you know. Never said that. They were told to. And come back. Don't take another job. I know that. And it's all happened. And then Jürgen, you've got to look at managers in the past. Shankly. He adored the club. He adored you and me. The city. He adored everything about Liverpool Football Club. The fans, everything, the stadium. Bob Paisley. You hear Bob in a little mad advertisement, you know. Oh, if I could do it again, I would. You'll never walk alone. I love the club. I love the people. And if I could, I'd do it all over again. You'll never walk alone. That's what he said. Jürgen Klopp was the same. Look at Kenny Dalglish. Look at Alan Hansen. Where do they live? Snoopy. Yeah. Isak signalling his intentions to explore his options in any language. It's a transfer request in any guise. Says the Snape. And that's the way it is. Anyone know where Raw is? Yeah, that's what's said. I hope he's alright, you know. Snape. Ekatike, Isak, Wirtz, and Mo. Anyone not salivating at the prospect of that ain't no footy fan. Get Gian from Palace too. We need a centre-back if Ibu doesn't sign. I think he's going to sign. All the, the signs are there, excuse the pun, but all the signs are there, Snapey. I was watching them today. I've been watching, inside Anfield. If you wanted to go or whatever, you mope about. don't care what anyone says. And Ibu, he's just happy. The bear. Frank John Henry has found oil at the bottom of Anfield after all the saying as Anfield is the golden stadium. It's black gold at the bottom of Anfield for John Henry. So like a song, couldn't you? About the gold at Anfield. You say, I hope you read Lewis's Steele's tweet. Might think twice about joining Madrid. Red Bertie's reared off. The Red Bird. 15 likes, we need more. Come on, good people. Show Frank the love. Thank you. Thank you. And the bear says, 15 likes on our end, Frank. You probably need to refresh. I don't know how to refresh anything, mate. Honest, I don't know. What do you mean, refresh it? I haven't a clue. If I try to, I've done something. I was doing a pod, and I've done something, and it all went off. Jason, that's it. Come on, where is he? You know, got it back up again. And the people were there, you know, still there. Because of my interactions, I'm sorry, with IT, just went. I'll ask Jason about that. I'll ask Jason about refreshing. Toscana. Sandro Mazzola's father, Valentino, died in the Gran Torino aircraft. Go away. Go away. Sandro's dead. He was brilliant. The Grande Torino aircraft back in. Oh. He must have been a baby. Sandro must have been a baby at the time, or a little boy. For that. Yeah, Chiesa needs games, says Ali Danus. Only the 5-10 minute per game or not. No, he doesn't even get that. He is a quality player and he dream about the World Cup, but Italy, man, yeah, everyone dreams about playing it, especially if you're a top class player. You want to play for your country, especially the Azzurri. They keep playing old tactic, not to concede. Hard nowadays. I think Gattuso, that's why Gattuso's been brought in, because they have been leaking goals. And Gattuso, great admirer of Liverpool Football Club, you know, Gattuso. I've heard him saying wonderful things, even after we beat them in 2005, and even after they beat us in 2007. He was saying great things about us and the fans. Gattuso. And the Redbird says, Darryl comes and goes on a few chats, Frank. There you go. But I think our Simon's gone, unfortunately. The current culture of the club is in the news. The current culture is in the news. the current culture of the club in Roosevelt, not Newselt. This is a new manager. Bounce on a seismic scale. Everybody's smiling in some very fraught times. We're looking for tomorrow's show, Frank. It'll be good, honestly. It'll be good, Redbird. Spot on, Sneaky. To be honest, I can't find Gapco place in the team. Nunes came along. Nunes is very good if his morale is up. I just want to see what forwards will lead next. Lead next beside Chiesa. Will be not easy for Slot to pick one. Do you reckon Little Elliott will go? Elliott? Sneaky. Nunes and Diaz, RB Elliott too. There's decent residuals in them too. Total up their departures and wages, and Isak becomes financially feasible. The Bear. Nunes, Diaz, Elliott, Morton, Samikas, possibly Doak will all go. I think Doak will go. That's nearly 200 million, Frank. Young Dokie. I wonder if anyone's ever said to their young Ben, okie dokie. As a colleague, and every time I see him, when we used to go to different colleges, okie dokie. I say, I'll see you over there at okie dokie. Got on my nerves. Okie dokie. Okie dokie. I wonder if anyone's ever said that to their young Ben. We're meant to be preparing a 120 bid for his sack, says Edward. Yeah. United fans are okay, says Ali Darouche. They used to not win anything. Ten Hag gave the club a low blow. They are still on the ground. But they have been even before Ten Hag. I don't listen to TalkSport. It's that Richard Jordan fella. And they were talking about Dutch players and such. And the managers then. And they said there's no Dutch manager has had any success. The fella said, only Arne Slot came in last season, won the league for it. And that Richard Jordan, he turned around and said, Jürgen Klopp left him with an untouchable squad. He said he didn't have to buy anyone. He said, and he won the league with them. That's what he said. Just walked in, didn't have to buy a player, and they won the league. The King, Trent the Rat went for nothing. Isak will get the jury's close to 150 mil. Edwards, I heard it was 130 mil plus add-ons, says the Redbird. Redbird, different people saying different things, says Edwards. Second game, Newcastle away, says the USEC. And the third game is Arsenal, is it? Edward, that's true, bro. Must say things for clicks. And as Yusuf said, yeah, we've got a hard thing. A tough start. And Bella says, Redbird, think that it was a bit unfair, what you said about Simon there. It's not a negative he's not a negative person. And he's quite a positive person because he doesn't agree. But he said it himself. Unfortunately, Bella, Simon said it himself. He said too much negativity here. It's negative. All the chat. I think he was disagreeing with me because I was reading them out. And I actually said, yeah, his head's turned. He wants to move. He said it himself. But Simon just wouldn't have it. I think it was like a spin. He was trying to spin. I'm sorry to say. I like Simon, as you know. I think he's great. I think he's fun. And we other podcasts. But it's all opinions. It's all opinions. Nah, he does bring negative vibes at times. You watch them. You watch them for long. Have you watched them for long? It's my right to have my opinion, as it is Simon's right. He can disagree with me as much as I disagree with him. No need to sulk. To be honest, the Redbirds disagrees with me, over certain things. But you know what I liked about Simon there? And normally, someone, could have been anybody else. Now, I have to use the George Bernard Shaw who said that's what I like to use. Someone else could have just turned around and said, well, these are all negative and fuck off the lot of yous, I'm going. That's what he could have said. But he's not like that. No one is like that. No one swears on him. No one. Not even the host. The King, he missed 4 games last season. He's sacked. Chelsea have spent nearly $2 billion in 3 years. That's something phony there, though, isn't it? Where's the financial fair play? QT, a football team is like a... Oh, I nearly misread that. It's like a porno. A football team is like a piano. You need 8 men to carry it. And 3, you can't play the damn thing. Yep. We've had some bad players in that team. Remember James Spear? And he came on against Real Madrid once, Real Madrid. He came on. Yeah. QT. Love it, bro. Love it. If Everton were playing at the bottom of the garden, I'd pull the curtains. Was that Shankland? Oh, it couldn't have been Shanks, could it? I forget who said it. And Johan says, Jack Walker bankrolling Blackburn title in 1995 was the blueprint for Abramovich at Chelsea and subsequently City. But you're always going to get this about Liverpool. Well, they said that we bankrolled them when we won us under Jürgen. We won the league. They won it. Look who they were buying. And QT says, sorry if I'm a bit quiet tonight, just nursing an hangover. What's her name? And Bella says, Redbird, negative lives. No, she doesn't mean negative gifts. My fucking eyes closing again. Trying to get this sorted out. Should have gone today. Something came up. Not for me, like, you know. Francis, she's got to bring me up there. The Redbird. Younger generations constantly talk about Klopp. Shankly was the master. Paisley is our greatest manager ever for me. Man got 19 trophies in 9 years, and times were harder then. Klopp is a legend. Absolutely, spot. That's what I always say. You see, the Shanks built the foundations. Built the foundations. We couldn't afford fucking no one. Klopp had. I was talking to Chris Lawler, and he'd tell you. Tommy Schmidt, you know, they were good, the kids. And they were playing, believe it or not, in the car park, you know, outside the paddock, kicking the ball about. And Shankly called them out, here they are, up, Bob. Here, Bob. And they laboured building the dugouts. What you see, well, you don't see them today, but what you've seen before these dugouts here, they built the dugouts. Tommy Smith, Chris Lawler, and Bob Paisley. Think about it. No fucking money. Nothing. And you know what? Someone robbed Chris Lawler's bike. He used to go on a bike, you know, to train. Not like as a big player, but as a, you know, a younger lad, you know. And he got his bike nicked, and Shankly bought him a red bike. Here, son. Bought him a bike, red. John Henry's seen leaving his house with the Infinity Gauntlet. Says cute. The Infinity Gauntlet. Evening, John Franco. How's our leader, IBR? Okay. One of the lads left IBR. Simon left us. I mean, you know, I don't mean like left us. You know, he got a bit upset over things and difference of opinions, and he's left. Sorry about I think he's a great lad. Paisley was the greatest, says QT to the Redbird. Well, you get lads going up to Shankly's birthplace and where he's buried. pilgrimages. Andy Nugent, I'd love him. And here the lads, Andy, would tell you on here, who I've always wanted. Before, you know, we were signing Verts or any of them. And I see, I'd love him. What a player he'd be for us. He can play left back and left side and centre back. Timo says that no one will ever beat any of Shankly's quotes. He was pure class. He's the number one who put the spirit into Liverpool Football Club fans. No one, but no one will ever argue with that comment. And Stu Mack. Last 20 years, marquee Liverpool players, Alonso, Mascherano. I love Mascherano. I love all of them here. What you just said. Alonso, Mascherano, Torres, Suarez. And now 3 in. Now this is not me who's saying this. It's not me, it's him. It's just come on. It's not me. And now 3 in a fucking transfer window. Hardly a surprise. Kick and chase the league. Bad weather. Bad city. The Stu says, if not for Didier Man, it would have been 5 or 6. Didier Man was brilliant. Didier Man was brilliant. And I always wondered why it was. I don't know. Do you ever remember the 2005? We were there. And what the fuck is Harry? I'm sorry to swear. No, what's he picked for? He was injured. He was injured. He hadn't played for a while. And he picked him. And we were getting beat 3-0. Then Dizzy came on. He replaced Stevie Finnan. And when the other fellow went up, limping off, Cure. And the Smeech came on. Smeechy. He came on. Changed the game, didn't he? Those two. Greatest comeback in any final ever. Greatest comeback in any semi-final ever. Incredible. Absolutely amazing. I am happy because my Romanian guy, Christian Chivu, became manager for Inter Milan. Go away. Well, where's Inzaghi gone? Where's Simeone's Inzaghi? Has he gone? Haven't heard anything. Can't wait to see him doing good work. Go away. Well, where's Simeone? Inzaghi gone? That surprised me. I think Linda's been kidnapped and she will only be released until Liverpool get the players they want and need. Leads in. And Steve says, Chelsea in for Isak on a 15 stretch with 10 bags of grapes a week thrown in. Keep them likes coming in if you are new into the show. Thank you, Bear. And the subscribes, you know. Subscribe. I thought Simon put it quite simply, says Snapey. Just don't understand it. When I seen John enjoying a beer on the train in the parade, in the rain on the parade, I know he was about that life. Yeah, he was enjoying it, wasn't he? He was enjoying it. Got to go back to one. Oh. Fucking hell. Sorry about this. Toscana. Sandro Mazzola was 6 years old when his dad was home. My dad used to talk about Torino team. It was like the equivalent of Manchester United team who died in the Munich air disaster. Yeah, it was shocking, man. The air disaster. Man United. It's the blokes. See, any air disasters with teams and you know, players, they're all young. They're all young. I think that Duncan Edwards in the Manchester, I think he was only 20. 19, 20. And the blogs, hello Frank, MI5 here, yes. Open you well. I have a feeling Canate will sign the improved contract offer. He has probably realised what we are building here after seeing Trent go and grass isn't greener. Good shout there. See, the vlogs is spook MI6. Glad it's MI6 and not the CIA. Don't like that one. Certainly not Mossad. If Toffees were playing in my garden, they'd get me out. Just cracking a can open. New Jimmy McGovern show on at 9. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, we're talking about it. Not tonight. Because we know Jimmy, Anthony Brown and myself. And we were talking about it. That's me. Mark Simons, just another checkbook club now. No, there's a bit of controversy. There's a bit of controversy. Have you ever heard it? Oh. But just another checkbook club. Johan, Frank has a dirty man. No, I haven't. First, the rude nude from Snapey and now Piero and Pot. Yeah. That's why I'm getting these done. Oh, come on, Johan. That's why I get my eyes done. I paid a lot of money for these bloody things. These are my reading glasses. I ain't wearing them actually because, you know, like these ones are very light. Very light. Do you know what colour they are? Oh, you can see the colour. See it? Can you see it now? Right underneath that. The blue. Blue. These are just black. I've got a pair of grey shades, grey edges. That's silvery grey. Thanks for that, Johan. The husband's hair laughs. You see, Frank, the hangover name is Museni. Well, that's a fine old Scotch, isn't it? Johan, Frank was born with it. Oh, come on. I used to wear it. Oh, there's Simon back. Ah, lovely. Well done, Simon. Frank, I just came back on your stream just to say thank you for your kind words. You didn't have to say what you did, but I appreciate it. We all appreciate you, you know. Every one of us. Simon, honestly, we all appreciate you. Who else would find a rare quote by Georgy Zhukov? Only Simon. Don't think anyone would know we were talking about, if you know what I mean. Anyway, the bear, Redbird, I completely agree with you about your manager. Great in order. Bob was the greatest. Jock Stein. Oh. And they were, you know, they always got together, you know, which I didn't know. Busby, Stein, and Shanks. Did you know Jock Stein didn't like to be called Jock Stein? That's the way. That's the, even Snapey would tell you. Put that, you know, that name, just the Stein there, you know what he liked to be called. He didn't like to be called Stein. Don't know whether you're aware of that, but I know that. I wonder why. I've noticed on the LFC chats, if you disagree with Simon, he doesn't stop long. Oh, come on. He can give it, but not take it. He's great on your other shows. He's brilliant. He's absolutely brilliant. Honestly. The quotes he comes out with, you know. And he does help me out quite a lot, actually. And TQT says, Simon, you're a good guy, but learn to give and take on the chin on shots. And the bear, Simon, I'm glad you came back, lad. There you go. IBR, welcome back, lad. It's all about opinion. And I made up, no one swore, only that other fella he came on, and I think he's gone. And QT. Frank, you into movies? And if so, what is your top 3? I'm doing a show in the morning. I do it every Saturday. Oh no, it's only Friday, isn't I do it every Saturday morning. Every Saturday morning I do it. And it starts at 10:30 and it's called Film and TV Reviews. Whatever it gets thrown in, if you know what I mean. But I'll give you my number one now. Well, I'll give you, I'm not saying in order, but I'll give you this particular film. I'm not saying it's number one, right? The Wild Bunch. And another one's a black and white film. Which I'll tell you about on Saturday morning. The Red Bear. Bear for absolutely fantastic managers. They would put up the soft whinging players of today. Not all are that, but many are. Yeah, they wouldn't put up with them. Edwards, Haman would be good for us. I tell you, it'd be great for us. Said it, I think you've heard me saying it. You've heard me saying it, Edwards, and that's Mascherano, one of the lads mentioned him. Mascherano, I think the lads who got off mentioned him and got off when he swore. QT, Frank does a films and TV review set out here. Thank you. Thank you. Edwards, go away. Go away. Simeone Inzaghi, has he been turned? He must have been offered. Do you know when we were looking for a manager? I wanted him. I wanted him. What do you think of this Zubamendi saying, I'm sorry I never went to Liverpool now, you know, but I'm willing to go now. It was the wrong time last year. Thanks, lads, for that. Couldn't believe that. I didn't even know he left. Didn't even know he left. And the Red Bear, just concentrate on your football hotel. Coincide, says Bella Italia. Yeah, Simeone Inzaghi left for Saudi. Well, that's he hasn't gone for the love of the place, has he? And Shivu, yeah, he can't believe that. The Bear. Subscribe and like if you were new to this channel. Thanks, says the Bear. Do you know what? Like Shivu, you know, the Romanian manager. I wonder how the Inter fans will take to that. I wonder how they take to that. Passionate Italians, yeah. Two teams I support in Italy. Inter's one of them, and I didn't even know. Just shows you the information. I was just concentrating on Liverpool. But I don't, as I said, I don't watch that. Fucking things coming out. And it's the same. It's the same rhetoric. You know, whether they're talking about Inzaghi or that guy Curtis or whatever his name is. And proof is in the pudding. I've seen inside the pudding now. Let it go. Says to that bird. To our lovely Bella. When I said Simon put it simply, I should have said it was simple what Simon said. There's one, Frank, have a look. There's one there, have a look. I understand what you were saying, and it's like what I say and Simon says. Simon's a great fella, you know. Very intelligent. I was watching I was watching a thing today. I was watching something last night, and it was Alex Christopher, and he said about historians. Made up. And then I was watching something today, and you know that Edward Norton? He's got an IQ, and he said he's a genius and whatever. And he's a historian as well. He loved history, you know, at university, and he still loves it today. Have a guess what his IQ is? Same as mine. 172. Couldn't believe it. Wow. Edward Norton. It's kind of strange in 2 days, you know, totally different topics though, about historians. What's going on, Frank, with all these legends in their own right passing away? Jota, then Joey, and Ozzy. Now the Hulk Hogan, yeah. It's what it was before. We was talking about it, Lee. Talking about it. Barry. Well said, Simon. You're a damn clever chap. Wish I had your knowledge, says Barry. Why has he said so? Is he still here? Have I missed something here? Have I missed anyone? Have I missed Simon? Oh, there he is. Yes, Frank, I knew that about Big Joe, says the bear. Brilliant. Brilliant. Where am I? Sorry about this, boys and girls. Yeah, look, Barry. Well said, Simon. You're a damn clever chap. Wish I had your knowledge. Jock Stein, yeah. I'm glad you knew about that. Because he didn't. I'm not going to go wide in, like, I think you've got to come to your own conclusions on that. Everyone I'm talking about, not you, Barry. I mean, Scottish, the bear. I'm not sort of, because he said no, don't. Stein. I'm glad you knew that, bear, honestly. Nice picks, Frank. Rio Bravo is in my top 3. Brilliant. Dino Cricchetti. And who's the little singer? I tell you, he was a horrible person. In real life, gave everybody a hard time. Forget his name. Okay, you know, he was always in those cowboy films, but he was in that Rio Bravo with John Wayne, Dino, And Frankie, no, what was his name? Vicky Valance. Vicky, whatever his fucking name was anyway, yeah. And what was his name? He was horrible to people. He was hated. Hated. And Dino and John Wayne were very good friends, you know. And he went to see him when he was in hospital, Wayne, and he could hardly speak. Wayne. Barry, you are a true gentleman, say Simon. Every one of us are honest. And yourself, Simon. Look at our Bella Italia. Look at our Toscana. And the vlogs, Lee. Should put super chats on, Frank, so we can buy you a or a butty. No, I wouldn't do it. I think it's. I do this for the love of not me but you, everyone. These are all super people, and I wouldn't ask anyone for anything. I just want, I'm doing it now on a Wednesday, and I loved it last night, and I loved it, and so did Simon. And it was the history of literature. People don't realise what books are all about, honestly, and the history within it. And it comes out, explodes. It's not like me going, if I think only this of me and all this. It's how things are interpreted. If you're doing that next Wednesday, tune in at 7:00, because I'll be talking about, there's a few things I'll be talking about. One especially about Oliver Twist. Honestly, it's very historical. Big connections with Liverpool, massive connections. Christopher, I frighten everyone, like and subscribe. Christopher, Isak is on the way. This is what we've been talking about, Christopher. Every one of us. And the Redbird says to the vlogs, Ozzy has not been well for a few years due to the amount of drugs he took. Sad still. Yeah, he had a fall, didn't he? And he could hardly speak at one time, you know. Do you know, I was in Bowl Street and I seen it, he's dead now. Couldn't believe that he fucking, I'm sorry to swear, but he died. And he went, I hadn't seen him for years. And he went, he clapped over me. And he said, and we were just shouting, he said, do you realise? He said, do you ever remember when we went down to Glastonbury? I said, yeah, only ever been once. I've only ever been once. So, you know, I said, yeah, I went down. Yeah, we went down, didn't we? He said, yeah. He said, did you know that it was the first one? I said, no. And I didn't. I went to the very first Glastonbury, never ever went afterwards. The very first. Incredible. Harry died. Did all Henry. What the fuck the age. But Ozzy Osbourne, Dorothy Langham, he comes on. She's lovely, Dorothy. She put us up, and I shared it, paranoia. Rumours have it Frank used to hang out with Hefner. He was called Long Shot Franco back in the day. Just pants. Used to hang out with Hefner. Who's it? That fella who was... Oh, couldn't have been him. Because, they talk about the Epstein things. But Hefner could imagine what he had. Like that P. Diddy should be doing 50 years in. Yeah, 100% Redbird. I'm just happy he got his wish to do one more gig before he died. That's mad, that, isn't it? He knew he was going. The Bear. I just saw Ekatike with the Liverpool team. This is amazing. All these new players are having pre-season early they're all get-togethers. Interaction with one another. Love it. And Johan to QT. Don't know about Hefner. He's on a first name basis with Clint Eastwood. It is. Fucking hell about it. Have I lost you somewhere? Clint. I tell you what, Timos. I was up in Duck Bay, Loch Lomond, right? And I guess who I met? I was with the nephew of the fellow who owns Duck Bay, the complex there. And I walked in, and this was in the morning, and who was in there? It was this fella, on his own, at a table, drinking coffee. And I walked up, I said to this Kelly, that's Scottish. He was the son of a diplomat, this fella. And I said, shall we go over and meet him? And he went, no. He said, I said, I'm going. He said, oh, don't. I said, I'm going. It's over. Shook her. I had a cup of tea. He said, do you want a coffee? Sit down. And I had a chat. I said, listen, I've got to go. As I was walking away, I said, thank you, mister. And he said, hey, Frank. Because, I introduced myself. He said, hey, Frank, just call me Clint. And I went, Clint, see you again. Ciao. Walked off. To Kenny. From Clint to Kenny. Clint Eastwood. Duck Bay, Loch Lomond. Tell you what year it was, 1994 or 5. Not quite too sure. So I'm to QT. I didn't know how Canate reacted to it. I've never read enough books, Frank. That's why I prefer to listen and learn on some street. Oh, just listen in next Wednesday. Honestly. Just listen in. And you will learn. I even said to Johan, I said, Johan, you don't have to read the book. It's like Shakespeare. I used to teach Shakespeare for the terrified. People didn't want to know about Shakespeare. But I used to teach it. They asked me to do it. I said, yeah, okay. People looked. People who didn't, were afraid that anyone mentioned Shakespeare. No. It's great to know about. We talk about footballers, but it's great to know about different people. People who have impacted the world. The likes of Oscar Wilde. Quote him to death. I can resist anything except temptation. I think that covers Isak, doesn't it? When Liverpool said, oh, we're interested in him. So it could apply to Isak. I can resist anything except temptation. The temptation of Liverpool. And what applies today with the likes of the great man, Oscar Wilde. Patriotism. Patriotism is the virtue of the vicious. We're all patriots, but we don't want to go to war with anyone. But the vicious patriots, that's the government. On all this. Patriotism is the virtue of the vicious. Think about it. They are an affordable bunch in here. Nobody's opinion is discarded or ignored, nor subsequently is anyone's opinions taken too seriously. It's the very embodiment of balance. Says Dictionary Corner, Mr. Stephen Sleep. Great comment. Thank you. Great comment. The vlogs. Imagine getting Isak and the Palace defender in Frank now. How amazing our team would look. Obviously, a good few will go. Maybe Tsimikas, Nunes, Chiesa, Elliott, etc. Diaz. Use Rio and Doak as backups. I think Doak will go. I really do. Unfortunately. It reminds me, young Doak, of Jimmy Johnson of Celtic. Jimmy Johnson was one of the little fella. He saw the back out of defenders up in Scotland, and they were all saying, he's only up in Scotland and all this. Then he saw the back out of England, where he used to play Scotland and that, Say the back sound all right, yeah. If we get Isak, Guy and Fofana to add to Vert, Frimpong, Ekatike, is this the best transfer? Excuse me. Best window for any Premier League club? Yeah. Yeah. Anyone. They're all quality though. Excuse me. That is my opinion. I was never really a fan of Ozzy, but a song I'm a dreamer. I'm a dreamer was great, yeah. Oh, Bella. Well, enough day, Franco, and shout, have a good night. Sweet dream, thank you. I was listening to Oh Soul Meal, and my granddad used to sing it to me today. Didn't half upset me. And when I first seen your name in Tuscany, it just reminded me of it today. I tell you who sang it, Pavarotti. Pavarotti sang, "You shall sleep no more." The Bear, QT. I missed that. Where was Canate would be jealous. I think Ekatike wages are higher than Canate's. I think you're right. And everyone's is higher than theirs. On a very low wage tier, to the contrary of what people say. I've never been into Aussie, says the Red Bear, but may God rest his soul. Ozzy had Parkinson's disease, he changed his rock music. Ah, nice, Frank. Say some experience, I say. We all need experience at everything. Some experience, at least. Effa is on a first name basis with many celebrities and businessmen and others, says the Red Bear. UFNA. Could you imagine his black book? Christopher, says the Red Bear, he changed every rock for rockers, of which I've never been into. I love the quote. Rock and roll. I was just listening to Giorgio. Oh, we're doing that. Not doing it, but we're actually talking about it on Wednesday, QT and Oliver Twist. And a fellow by the name of William Blake. William Blake. Ah, Simon. Good night, Frank. I end with a joke to put a smile on your face. Man goes to the dock with a strawberry growing out of his head. The doc says, "I'll give you some cream to put on it." You can imagine Tommy Cooper, can't you? You're expecting the punchline, aren't you? I'll put a bit of cream on. So funny. Thanks, Sam. Yeah, well, I don't know. QT, IBR. That's so. That's nice. That's nice. Can I finish now? Red Bird. Big up Bible study. Yeah, the Bible study. Forgot about that. Well, John Edwards. Forget about. Got to leave. I've got to go for it. I'll watch the replay later. I've got to go and do my Bible study. Johan, Frank, a line that made me burst out laughter today while revisiting Oliver Twist was, "What a novel illustration of the tender laws of England, that they let the paupers go to sleep." There's some great lines in it. I'll be reading you something by some reverend when he gathered people around him, the poor. I'll be reading that out Wednesday. Franco, my mum used to sing that to me, O sole mio. Oh. Yeah, I knew what you meant, brother. Think about it. We get on to Francesco. Barry. Batman and Robin chased and caught me. He hit me. Tapow. I said, "Hey fellas, thought it was kapow." And Batman said, "No, I've got China in my heart." Especially the squirrels and starters, isn't it? I'm going to end on these boys. You don't mind. Poor Francarini's tired. Callum. He's changed everything. The sector transfer, 5 minutes break. Alexander Isak is pushing to leave Newcastle this summer. Liverpool are working on his deal. They are on it. They spoke several times with people close. And the bear. Frank, Jimmy Johnson was not only ripped England to shreds, but he also terrorised Europe for more than a decade in one game when Celtic knocked Real Madrid out of in the late 60s. Jimmy Johnson. Got to play. And he did. Do you know what I tell you? I'm telling you now. That little reel, unbelievable. I thought Doug was like him. But this Rio lad, have a look at him. Jimmy Johnson. Little Rio. Goes on that bear. And Ezra says, Romano said Liverpool are going to go big. And the Redbird. Oh, I'm glad you agrees with me, Redbird. What's it like to be in a bit of controversy? Yeah, quote, we're brilliant. Do you know Francis Rossi's, I think, mother was a Scouser? Ezra just seen that 10 minutes ago. Jimmy had the ball over 40 minutes himself. Madrid battered Celtic. Jimmy kept the ball for 40 minutes to take the lead. He was ridiculous. He was. And a one-man club, wasn't he? Edward Callum would a bid this could happen this weekend. Probably tomorrow, says Callum. Scottish Bear, 40 minutes. He sounds a bit greedy. Oh, Joe, don't hit me. I think he had to keep the ball because as the Bears swept up, Real were battering them. Keep the ball, Jimmy. See you, Snapey, says Ed. Have a good one, buddy, says QT. I didn't know he was got out. Yeah, good night, I'm sorry. Good night, one and all. Being a hoot, as usual. Love to you. Love to you. Redbird has won in the chat tonight. Johan second says it. I reckon, tell you who's first, there's a joint first. Bella Italia and Toscana. This is my second account, says Callum. True crime site. Don't want it. Christopher, says Scottish Bear. Celtic was getting battered down to 9 men in Madrid. He was the all-out. But do you know? I can't say it now because I've got to finish. Ezra, see you, Frank. Thanks for tonight. Yes. Scottish Bear. You were Celtic fan. Yeah, he was a great player. Never got to see him, slightly before my time. I only seen him against England. That's all. I remember Tommy Gemmell. And he was down here, the Celtic. Oh. QT, Liverpool #1 soft spot for Celtic, bro. Yes. Francis Rossi from Quo was part of. Yeah, he is. Loads of half Italian, like me. Half Italian. On my mother's side. Barry, see you all on the next one, folks. Sleep well, one and all. Johan, thank you, Frank and Legends in the chat for a great shot. Looking forward to the. I knew it was you. I knew you'd say that. You apologist. You apologist being on tomorrow. You apologist. First time I've ever seen that. You apologist. Written that is. Redbird, Edwards and Frank, you cheeky monkeys. I do go to Bible study, not all the time, but I do. Catch you next time, Frank and chat. Go get some deserved rest, Professor Carlyle. Top shot. Thank you, Redbird. Redbird, you love the history of literature. So would the rest of them. Toscana and Bella Italia, the arts. Brilliant. QT. Where I'm from, in Ireland, Celtic and Liverpool is a given. I've got to go, boys. Oh. And Edward says, There's a league now, Red Bird. Have you seen it? It's so people comment more. Oh, go away. Like Frank and everyone up the title winning Reds. The Bear. Subscribe and like on the way out of the show. Thank you. And I'm going to leave on the Simon's comment. Jimmy Johnston. Has MND illness inspired Sarah Fabergé to create a dual deck to raise money for his treatment? Go away. And he even recorded a song with Simple Minds to promote awareness. And go away. Go away. See what I mean about Simon? That's fantastic, that. Sarah Fabergé herself. Russian. You always think that Fabergé was Frank Carlyle. Russian. Fabergé. I actually seen a Fabergé, like a coach, you know, that fucking thing, in a glass case. It's about, I mean, the thing itself was about that big. Right? It's hard to explain. And I was in this glass case, in this box, like another big thing, bulletproof, bomb-proof. Know what I mean? And it was worth millions. Forget how much. Millions. Simon, good night again, says Simon. Definitely off this time. Thank you, Simon. Thank you. Be good stuff tomorrow night, by the way, Simon. No football. Simon, good stuff, lads. Cheers, says the Bear. And on that wonderful note, I'm going to say, mille grazie, buonanotte, a domani. Ci vediamo, a domani. A domani sera, 7 ore. That's for my two beautiful Italian ladies. I'll say good night. Thank you. Thank you to Jason. Most importantly, thank you to you, the chat, for being there, keeping me company. Mille grazie. Thank you. Buonanotte.